Hi there, and welcome to the Play Therapy Circle. Before we begin, please note this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not provide therapeutic advice, and listening does not create a client therapist relationship. All views expressed are my own, and any case examples shared have been de identified to protect privacy. If you're seeking personal support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional in your area. Hi, and welcome to an episode of the Play Therapy Circle. I'm Kylie Ellison, a therapist, clinical supervisor, and play therapy trainer, and I'm so grateful you're here. This podcast is a space for thoughtful, soulful conversations about child-centered therapy, play-based work, and what it means to show up with presence and compassion, both for our clients and for ourselves. Whether you're a seasoned play therapist, a student just starting out, or someone deeply passionate about working with children, you belong here. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Play Therapy Circle podcast. I'm your host, Kylie Ellison, and I am so glad you are here. Guys, this is our final episode of 2025. And it's number 25. Like, serendipitous much? Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, I want to connect with everyone to say a big thank you. So this episode is a genuine thanks to everyone listening and a big wishing you well for the rest of 2025 and into 2026. So I just wanted to acknowledge in coming into our episode today that this time of year has been hectic and busy and layered. It can be emotional, it can be busy and stressful. But I want to give you that assurance that however this season feels for you, you are not alone. And I love saying that. So you guys know I say that all the time. I wanted to start off by reflecting on our Play Therapy Circle journey this year. So as those of you who have been following along now for some time would know, we started this podcast back in July. So it's been just under 6 months that we have been doing our weekly episodes. And definitely when we first started, we knew that there was certainly a community seeking that support in being able to talk through all things child-centered play therapy, particularly from an Australian lens, and being able to support you in this work. And truly, we have been blown away with how much people have enjoyed the content, have found it useful and helpful for their work, which is exactly our intention for why we started it. Truly, we had an outline and an understanding of the topics we wanted to cover, but we genuinely didn't think that it would be this well received. So we are just so grateful. I know on behalf of the team, I can say that we are feel the privilege of and the honor of being able to do this every week, and each of you listening and being a part of our Play Therapy Circles. So if you found us this year only recently, or you've been listening for the whole time, your support means the world. So thank you so much. I know that there are so many people who are regular listeners now, not just new followers as well. So holding this space this year to really go through every part of child-centered play therapy, and we truly haven't even really got there. We've just started. We've only been doing this, less than 6 months. We've got so many topics to cover next year, so much good stuff happening. We really want to involve and have others come on the podcast, because as fun as it is listening to me talk all the time, I'm sure you could also benefit from others. So we will have guest interviews next year. We've got so much planned. So it really has taken off, and we are just so grateful that ultimately, as I said at the end of the day, that this information has been helpful and useful to you. So what I want to say to all of you listening is thank you for showing up and doing the work of CCPT every day in the playroom, because I don't think that message is heard enough. but is so needed because of the invisible nature of child-centered play therapy, because we do that work in the playroom with a child. And so that opportunity for recognition and validation of what you do is so important. So especially those who are working in private practice, I'm always holding in mind the different listeners that we have on the podcast. So whether you are a new play therapist, a seasoned play therapist, whether you're working for an organization, working for yourself or others, or working internationally. I think there is so many different community members that come together to listen to our podcast. So it's so important that you hear that message, that showing up every day with vulnerability, with authenticity, with true empathy for your clients is huge and is so, so important. And that you are literally helping children and their families. So you are incredible, and you as a listener deserve all of that gratitude and support. So thank you so much. I want to validate that listening is an act of professional care. So by you jumping on this podcast and listening to what is child-centered play therapy, how to set up a playroom, the importance of the relationship, I know that those podcast episodes are great reminders and refreshers, or good grounding tools for those of you either starting in your profession or more advanced in your profession. So listening and taking that time, because sometimes my episodes go for a really long time. So thank you for hanging in there and listening the whole way through. I absolutely want to express our appreciation to the wider Play Therapy Circle community for listening, for recommending us, for sharing our episodes to others. It's so, so appreciated. So thank you so much. So definitely across the board, I think everyone has been struggling with fatigue, the complexity of our client work, the increased need in our communities. So certainly my aim for this year has been to be really holding space for all of you, working so hard in the playroom and in your communities and with your families over 2025. I'm so excited for next year. We have, as I've teased in previous episodes, so much exciting things. That's really poor language. I have really exciting projects. Here we go, coming up next year, because I guess one of the biggest feedback factors, that's a really poor way of describing it. One of those consistent themes, there we go, one of those consistent themes in feedback from listeners has been, I just wish I could stay connected with everyone. I wish that I could, especially for those who are working in private practice by themselves, I'm holding them in mind particularly, just to feel that sense of connection, validation, feel like I'm on the right track, feel like I'm good enough, feel like I know what I'm doing, and feeling that disconnect in terms of just oftentimes them just being regional and remote, or just being not able to connect with others locally. So we have some exciting projects next year to kind of complement our podcast. Our podcast will continue every week, episodes every week next year. So excited for that. So a lot of the episodes I want to unpack next year will certainly focus on child-centered play therapy and your practice, but I might also throw some in there, some topics in there around topics that will be relevant to parents and caregivers that you might be able to recommend to them too. So I want to make sure that we are meeting our wider audience especially. So look out for those topics next year. We've got plenty planned. We've got a couple of big projects, as I said, and I don't want to give too much away because we will be launching it in the new year because it's very exciting, very, very exciting. But we are definitely going to be holding an event. So I'm so excited. I will give you more of those details next year. But we also want to bring our community together. So we have a really exciting initiative we're going to be launching in the new year as well, to be able to support our child-centered play therapists wherever you are in the world, to have access to that support with us, with our team, but also with your colleagues and with those practicing as child-centered play therapists around the world to feel that sense of connection, because that's what we're all about at the end of the day. It's authenticity and connection and congruence. And so we need to be living and breathing that. And I've done that every episode here on the podcast for the last 25 episodes. But we also see that there's that need to bring our community together. So I am so excited for that international community that we can't wait to foster and grow next year, just as we've done with this podcast. And truly, when I say that I live the tenets of CCPT, guys, I truly, truly do in all aspects of my life. But in this podcast, it really was about, I know that this is my heart and soul of how I work as a practitioner. It's been for the last 10 years, 11 years next year. So this has been my work and what I've done. And I truly, truly believe in it. So I knew if I provided this podcast to offer my experience, my learnings, and that information in a way that you feel that connection to, that's what it's all about. And I knew that that would connect with someone. I just didn't know it would connect with so many people. So I'm thrilled. So I know that we will continue to do this next year. I truly, truly love doing this because it's just been so nice to talk about the work I do every day, but also to be able to offer hope and reassurance and validation and understanding to anyone who's listening who is either having a great experience in CCPT or might be struggling in their practice and just need that extra pick-me-up. So I hope that it has been helpful for you. And so we will continue to offer these episodes to continue to support your practice. But we also acknowledge that our community needs not only online, but being able to connect face to face and be able to have that human experience of connecting with each other just helps us to feel that sense of alignment with who we are and what we're doing and where we're headed. So I am so excited to announce these. So please follow our social media. That's where you're going to get the information, you guys. So follow our socials on the Play Therapy Podcast on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. I need to start posting on TikTok. I'm definitely not there enough. So I will start doing that in the new year. One of my New Year's resolutions. I was going to say to you, if you have any New Year's resolutions for next year, because obviously I've already got New Year's resolutions with 2 massive projects we're going to be launching in the new year for the podcast. So I know that's going to be huge for us. But if you have any, now's the time to be thinking about it, putting it out there into the universe. And I think what I've learned when we talk about this approach of CCPT is believing in the capacity for self-actualization, for growth, if given the environment to do so. Whoa, that is huge, right? Believing in ourselves, if we give ourselves that environment and that space to do so, that we know in the playroom, children thrive in that space. And I always say, I work with children of all ages. So wherever you are in your journey of child-centered play therapy, whether you're just starting or you're a seasoned professional, we all have that capacity for growth. We all, if we truly align with CCPT, we acknowledge that life is hard and the work is hard and being a play therapist is hard and serving our community can often be really challenging and complex. So bringing that back to us as practitioners, being able to acknowledge that opportunity for growth, that opportunity for healing, that opportunity for validation, that opportunity to be able to evolve into the practitioner that we truly in our hearts believe we are and know that we can be, is what I want to offer to each of you next year. Because truly in doing this podcast this year, it has felt so aligned with who I am, the practitioner I want to be, and the career I want. And I want to continue to share all of my knowledge, all of my experiences, acknowledging that, especially, I guess I can again talk to the Australian context, play therapy is, as a profession, and specifically child-centered play therapy, still growing and evolving in our communities. Having practiced specifically in child-centered play therapy for the last, it'll be 11 years in May next year, I have a lot to offer in that space of being able to provide that support to others new to the profession. So I know that that's a privilege and an honor, and I don't take that lightly. And so I hope that listening to this podcast this year has inspired you to follow your CCPT dreams, as I intend to do next year, in really living and breathing my CCPT values. And when those things align for you, and I hope that happens for you next year, as it's happened for me this year with the podcast, how truly freeing and hopeful that becomes in terms of your practice when you get that opportunity to do so. So my heart is so full at having this opportunity to connect with each of you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being witness to my journey in being able to open this podcast and offer this support to so many of you. It's a privilege and an honor, and I can't wait to do this again next year, and I can't wait to continue to hold space for our child-centered play therapy international community, because I can't wait to see where our community takes us next year. So please, 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 on behalf of the Play Therapy Circle team, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, look after yourself over this Christmas period. Give yourself that grace to be able to stop and have a break and recharge and rest, because you absolutely deserve it. And we can't wait to serve you, our beautiful Play Therapy Circle community, in 2026. Thank you so much for the honor of being here this year, and we will see you all in 2026. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Play Therapy Circle. If anything resonated with you today, I'd love it if you could follow the podcast, share it with a colleague, or leave a short review. It really helps others find our circle. And if you have a topic or question you'd love me to explore, I'd love to hear from you. This space is for you, and I want it to feel like a conversation. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, you belong here.